Hello, and welcome to Web Animation 101. This is a course dedicated to teaching everyone how to create simple frame-by-frame animations. However, before we get started on doing any animation in particular, we want to introduce you to the program we want to use. This program in particular being FireAlpaca. For those not in the know, FireAlpaca is an art program where you can create animations, you can create comics, and the download is free. You can download it from the official website at firealpaca.com. You can either download it as an installer or you can download it as a zip file if you want to take it with you portably. The program is also available on Mac and on Linux as well for people that don't use Windows. So now that we have the program installed, let's take a look at the UI. Over here is where you can choose different selections. You can choose the brush or the eraser, all kinds of different options, shapes, selection tools, eyedropper tools, all kinds of stuff there. Over here, this is where you get to choose the different palette you want to use. You can change the color, and you can also add different colors here. As for example, so I'm going to choose the color, random color here, and I'm going to click on it here. And there we go. We've created a little color on the color palette. Over here is a brush. You can either use the mouse wheel to make it bigger or smaller, or you can drag this and you can make it as big as you want or as small as you want. For now, let's set it to 5. Over here is where you can choose the different kinds of brushes that you want to use. And these can be very useful if you want to have a particular design or any kind of different brush aside from the main one. Let's create a new canvas. Here is our little canvas. Before you start your canvas, you can actually set your all kinds of different resolutions so that you can make it as big as you want, but this can be changed later, so no need to worry about that. The way you can change this is either by changing the image size to make it so that you can make it bigger, the whole image, or the canvas size to make the canvas bigger without changing the size of the image. Over here is where you have the layers. You can click here to create a new layer, or to click here to get rid of one. You can also duplicate layers by clicking on this option. To begin with, let's have a little test and we'll see how it works. Here's a little drawing that we created. And here are the layers. You can click here, and as you can see, there's 2 of these. Click here, and it gets rid of one. So now it's left with this. Alternatively, you can also make it so that you can only focus on one layer, which is especially useful if you want to focus on a particular detail but don't know which layer it is on. So now when the layer is highlighted, it only shows that particular layer. When drawing, you can also change different things, such as you can get rid of anti-aliasing, which makes the brush have a more pixelated look to it. And the stabilizers tools. You can either have no stabilization, or you can have more stabilization, which makes it easier to get more accurate results. The symmetry tool is very useful if you want to create different patterns and stuff. So let's say we want to create a little arch. So we would have it's very useful if you want to create this symmetry section is very useful if you want to create your own little arches or anything, or your own different or other neat patterns. Or you can make little tile sets as well, so you can create all kinds of neat little wallpapers. Over here is where you get to create snap. This is basically a snap section, which gives more accurate lines. You can make more patterns that way. Or you can also do this. And you can create different patterns this way as well. Over here is a shape tool. You can use it to draw your own different kind of lines instead of drawing. You can do lines. You can do a curve. You can do a curve by simply clicking on which way you want the curve to go, and it creates its own little curve. You can also create little circles, squares, rectangular shapes, round shapes, or even your own different kind of shape. Here is the text setting, so you can type your own text. You can change the size and font. You can change the size and type of font. You can change its style. Change the style. And you also change the anti-aliasing on this as well. If you want to turn this as a layer, copy it and then paste it. Now you have this as its own little layer. You can zoom in by pulling the mouse wheel, rolling the mouse wheel down, and scroll and zoom out by scrolling the mouse wheel up. Okay, so that's the basics of FireAlpaca. Be sure to tune in next time when we take a look at how to do a squash and stretch animation. See you!